Hello and welcome to ILTV's Israel Daily. I'm Aaron Porras, and coming up in today's newscast, Israel bracing for escalations along the Gaza border following the arrest of high-ranking members of the Islamic Jihad terror group in Jenin. Meanwhile, remembering the Israelis who are still trapped in Gaza under Hamas's captivity, we're joined by Leah Goldin, mother to the late captured soldier Hadar Goldin. And finally, a new Holocaust exhibit focusing on the terrible things that hate can do when left unchecked. The IDF bracing for potential retaliations Tuesday after arresting a senior operative of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad terror group in Jenin late Monday night. Islamic Jihad even issuing a statement warning Israel, quote, against harming the life of leader al-Assadi and that they will respond to any aggressions. Trains in the Gaza periphery, including Ashkelon, suspended, and many roads near the border closed in fear of rocket or anti-tank fire from the Gaza Strip. Likewise, the Erez pedestrian checkpoint with Gaza, through which thousands of Palestinian workers cross daily, temporarily closing. This as Bassam al-Sadi, the West Bank leader of the Islamic Jihad, and his son-in-law, who's his close aide, arrested overnight. Al-Sadi wanted by Israel for actively building up the terror group's power in Jenin and elsewhere around Judea and Samaria. Also, several deadly terror attacks this past year attributed to Islamic Jihad. And in growing efforts to hold the group responsible, Israel arresting at least 50 members suspected of terror activity in just the last 2 days. According to reports from Monday night, IDF commandos reportedly entering Jenin disguised as Palestinians on mission to arrest 2 individuals, including al-Sadi, who the Shin Bet says has been jailed and released by Israel at least 7 times. Al-Sadi and other gunmen resisting the raid, however, and in the gunfight, several Palestinian combatants injured, 1 killed. Additionally, some reports saying Sadi was shot and wounded in the clashes, including by a military dog bite. No IDF casualties were suffered. And now joining me with more on the recent Palestinian Islamic Jihad arrests and predictions of retaliations from Gaza, former head of IDF operations and commander of the Gaza division, Major General Reserves, Israel Ziv. Major General, thank you so much. Now, Israel has arrested dozens and dozens of Islamic Jihad members in the last few days, on top of West Bank leader al-Sadi. How big of a response are we expecting from Gaza?
It's hard to say because basically it's a huge blow for the Islamic Jihad. Not just the fact that we have arrested him, but as we all know, that organization is very extreme, is very forcible, is an organization, that people are fighting to their death. And the fact that the head of the organization was arrested alive, actually without even being casual or being wounded, means a lot to their image. It's a blow to their image as well. And for them, the fact that this number one guy that is behind, not just in position, but his hands and his fingerprint is behind everything that the jihad is doing in Samaria, also in Gaza is very influential. It's a big blow. It's a big thing, and definitely, they are going for what they know to do, is to retaliate. So following that and following quite an accurate information, the decision was, to change some of the transportation around Gaza, around several sensitive places in order not to get hit by any kind of a trial to retaliate or to hit back. Well,
so what is Israel's likely response going to be in the event that things escalate, into another Gaza conflict? Or would Israel and Hamas actually keep the calm? And for that matter, what is the state of diplomacy between Israel and Hamas?
Look, actually, it's a big opportunity both for the Palestinian Authority and the Hamas, which it's a big problem. The gaining power by the jihad, it's a big problem. The Palestinian Authority lost actually almost their control in North Samaria. So such an arrest and such a vacuum can be use of the Palestinian Authority to go back and gain the territory to themselves, as it should be. Also the Hamas. The Hamas doesn't like the fact that the jihad becoming stronger. So such a blow can be good for him as well. So both are not interested to create any kind of escalation or get into more complexity than it is.
What are the major differences at the end of the day between Hamas and Islamic Jihad?
The jihad is much more extreme. It doesn't believe in any diplomacy at all. It's a very close organization. And for them, the jihad is the only option, while the Hamas is combining both the militaristic arm and way, but at the same time, he has a whole diplomatic section and he's negotiating. Even, not officially and directly with Israel, he's negotiating all the time. So it's kind of a big difference. By the way, it serves each other as well, because they have their mutual interests, but, sometimes when the Hamas doesn't want to be in the front, it's easy for him when the jihad take responsibility, etc. So they are playing that role of the good and bad cop as well. But I have to say that for Israel, the policy should be that there is no difference between them, although there is.
All right, well, we cannot forget also that Israel is actually, that there are still Israeli captives in Gaza, 2 live civilians and the bodies of 2 soldiers. But are they even a consideration in cross-border talks, and why or why not?
The answer is yes. But the Hamas is very tough. They have a goal or aim to release over 1,000 prisoners. Israel, from past lessons, is not willing to pay that price, of actually sending free terrorists that they have blood on their hands. So, but the answer is definitely yes. Israel is negotiating and put that on the table every time. Lately, the Hamas was the one, to initiate it because they feel weak. They don't bring any successes and any good news to their own people in Gaza. So from time to time, they're trying to push Israel to negotiate, but in their terms.
Major General Ziv, thank you so much again.
Thank you, sir.
To watch full episodes of ILTV's Israel Daily and tons of other content from Israel, visit our website at iltv.tv or download the ILTV Plus app.